individuals conspicuously have certain propositions, while others have been procured from other cultural civilizations.
Some are introspection, while others appear to be downright diversified, if we initially envisage otherwise.
While the majority of these philosophical positions are of national scope, some are limited to a definite cultural group of people.
But how does the moral and cultural relativism affect society?
Moral relativism was introduced by the father of modern anthropology and an American anthropologist, Franz Boas. He firmly believed that fieldwork was more important than office work.
Moral relativism, it is the norms of one's culture, the moral rules of the culture in which an activity is performed determine whether it is right or wrong. In one community, the same behavior may be ethically correct, but it may be morally wrong in another. Moral relativism is mainly based on an individual's pragmatic, meta-ethical, epistemological, or normative postulations that are somehow correlative to sentiments or viewpoints of identified communities.
For better understanding of moral relativism, consider the following instances. The death penalty is frequently supported on the grounds that society has a moral commitment to safeguard its citizens' safety and well-being. But murderers are a threat to this. Hence, they will be put to death because it is the punishment they have earned for their crime. You are a moral relativist if you support the death penalty and believe that putting murderers to death so that they cannot kill again is the proper thing to do. Let's say you feel abortion is legal. Is it true that just believing it makes it so? Or still not? What if the majority of Americans believe it? Is that sufficient? If you answered yes to either of these questions, you are likely a moral relativist. Moral relativism has a dreadful reputation, as does any other point of view about morality in society.
Cultural relativism encompasses one's judgments, propositions, and justifications that do not indulge in an outright position but are correlative and are in accordance with specific cultural convictions and traditional practices.
So, cultural relativism was introduced by Edward Alexander Westermarck and William Graham Sumner.
Edward Alexander Westermarck was a sociologist and anthropologist. He was both a speculative armchair anthropologist and a field worker. Was born in Helsingfors, Finland. Westermarck's major interests were the history of marriage, the comparative sociological study of moral ideas and various institutions, and the culture of Morocco, while the other one is
William Graham Sumner was a classical liberal American social scientist. He taught social sciences at Yale, where he held the nation's first professorship in sociology. Sumner wrote widely within the social sciences, with numerous books and essays on American history, economic history, political theory, sociology, and anthropology. There are two types of cultural relativism. Absolute cultural relativism, a culture even when considered strange should not be questioned. And a critical cultural relativism, the importance to find out why some cultures are practiced so asking questions is fine.
Cultural relativism is a term that is used to show that the ways of life of people are different around the world. There are practices that are acceptable in one part of the world that would not happen in another part of the world.
Hence, from these concepts, which may contain purported cultural beliefs and discernments that are based on applied rather than theoretical considerations, he represents to you a few of the many cultural instances that are held amongst individuals.
So the best example of cultural relativism is lotus feet or foot binding. In some cases, Chinese women used to bind their feet to reduce the size of them, as small feet were considered as a symbolism of beautiness. Chinese men preferred women with tied feet as brides.
If people would ask me, do you think cultural relativism is a good thing or not? Indisputably speaking, cultural relativism is good because it allows people to practice their beliefs and enjoy their cultural heritage or religious beliefs without having to fear or be afraid of others for why they do what they do. If I were to ask you, would you say that your decisions and opinions were always completely right? Or you just can't accept other people's opinions because you just don't want to?